The autumn sale is here, bringing huge discounts to some of the best space games of all time. From epic 4X strategy to immersive simulators, from co-op sandboxes to story-driven adventures. In this video, we've got a selection of top space games as well as some expansions that are on sale, with each title offering many hours of gameplay. So let's start with Elite Dangerous. This one has perhaps the steepest discount Frontier have ever offered. Also included on discount is Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Now many of you likely know about this game, but for those of you who don't, Elite Dangerous offers an open world, well, a galaxy really. It's a space sim set on a massive scale. It features an entire Milky Way galaxy recreated at full 1-to-1 scale. That's 400 billion star systems. You could theoretically visit all of these, although you could have many lifetimes, and that would largely be impossible. Either way, you start out as a lone pilot set against this impressive backdrop. You've got complete freedom in this game. It is a true sandbox. That means there's no campaign. Instead, you choose your role. You can switch between trader, bounty hunter, explorer, miner, mercenary, smuggler, or any mix of these types, plus many more. Throughout your journey, you can align with many of the game's factions or even the superpowers. Superpowers include the Federation, the Empire, as well as the Alliance. Now, in my opinion, this game has perhaps the best flight model of any space game out there. Truly impressive, it literally feels like flying over your spaceship. It's also got one of the best combat models as well for any space game. The Odyssey expansion is pretty interesting because it allows you to get outside of your ship and walk around on the surface of planets and engage with various different missions when you're down there. With Odyssey, you can also walk around inside space stations as well as the large capital-class ships, also known as fleet carriers. Incidentally, in 2025, Frontier also released an update called Trailblazers, which allows you, for the first time, to guide the construction of space stations inside your chosen star system. Both games are currently at 90% off, making Elite Dangerous just £1.49 and Odyssey at 99p. Now, if you want to go to the other end of the scale and story very much is your thing, then you could do a lot worse than trying out Outer Wilds. This one is a critically acclaimed and award-winning storytelling game that's best described as an open-world mystery set in a clockwork solar system. Now, it's often said that the less you know about this game going in, the better, so I'm going to avoid spoilers here, but here are the essentials. You, as a player, are the newest recruit in the Outer Wilds adventures. A little scrappy space exploration program from a little alien species. On your first launch day, you quickly discover that you're trapped in a 22-minute time loop. After 22 minutes, the sun goes supernova and everything resets. You retain the knowledge, of course, across loops, and you set out to uncover the secrets behind the ancient race that caused the time loop itself, and how to possibly break it. That might sound like a pretty big spoiler, but it is the premise of the game. You'll see that in the trailer as well as on the Steam page. The real spoilers come in the various different twists and the really great storytelling. I won't go into that, but suffice to say, it's, very impressive indeed. Now, in terms of gameplay, Outer Wilds gives you a little miniature solar system as your playground, a handful of planets, and weird celestial bodies, and each of these are absolutely full of surprises. You have a nifty little spaceship as well, you can fly around in that, and a spacesuit for EVA. Importantly, there's no combat or RPG stats here. The game is purely about exploration, discovery, and puzzle solving. The time loop, though, really is kind of the star of the show, as everything pivots around this. It means that if you miss something or if you fail, the time loop resets and you can then try again, but this time armed with the knowledge of your previous loop. It's a great story then, somewhat emotional, pretty mind-bending, and, it's all about those little aliens and the time loop itself and the fate of the universe by extent. If you've never played this one, it comes highly recommended, currently at 40% off, priced at £11.99. Next up, we come to something far more freeform. This isn't a game as such. It's called Space Engine. You've seen it in some of my videos before. I've used it quite often as background footage, and this is because it's an absolutely beast of a galaxy simulator. Well, it's a universe simulator in many ways. There's nothing quite like this. If you think the Galaxy in Elite Dangerous is impressive, you're really in for a treat when it comes to a Space Engine. Right here, you've got a full universe at a 1-to-1 scale, and yes, that means billions upon billions of galaxies, each of them with hundreds of billions of stars nebula, planets, and all of the rest of it, all shown at full real-world scale. In a way, it's quite hard to describe what Space Engine is all about, but one way I could perhaps to describe it is think of it as, well, Google Earth, but for the entire universe. So because of the way this all works, you do have absolutely complete seamless travel. That means you can move freely in space at whatever speed you want. You can go for a slow EVA-styled walk with the camera, all the way up to much faster than multiple millions or thousands of times the speed of light all across the galaxy. So this means you can start at Earth's surface with some pretty decent red textures there, take off, see the Earth shrink to a marble, zoom out to see the whole solar system, then our galaxy, and then a whole local group of galaxies, all continuous without any loading screens or without any pauses. And then you can simply zoom in on another galaxy and completely explore that. Now, one thing that's interesting here is that Space Engine really does pride itself on scientific accuracy and the whole beauty of the galaxy itself. This means that planets have detailed 3D terrain that could include mountains, craters, even oceans, and these are generated based on plausible geology. You'll also find ice caps and some river valleys, canyon systems, all of this on procedural worlds. Gas giants also have swirling cloud bands. The lighting is physically based as well, so this looks absolutely stunning. And if you want some really impressive things, you can find volumetric nebulas as well as some truly stunning black holes with their associated accretion disks. What's more, Space Engine does support VR, which means you can literally feel like you're fully immersed in a space odyssey. Another point worth touching on here is that you do have complete control over time as well. So not just travel in space but also time. This means you can speed up or slow down time, you can even reverse it. And that means you can watch entire solar systems do their stellar dance, whether from a distance, watching all the planets orbit around each other, or down on the surface and watch many planets or moons come up and go down, or sunset and sunrise. All very impressive. And, well, you can also add another note on here that this also has some really nice educational value on top. Space Engine is currently priced at 40% off on Steam, which means you can get it for £14.99. Easily one of the best, if not the best, space exploration tool out there. Next up, we come to Cosmoteer. On the surface of it, this may look like relatively a simple game, at least compared to the things we've looked at so far. But don't let that fool you. This is a very complex game, and, well, it's a lot of fun as well. Here, you can design your dream starships and then blow them up. So Cosmoteer is a starship construction and combat sim that puts you in the role of a ship designer and a fleet commander. Now, if you've ever played something like FTL and really admired the ships and wondered whether or not you could build your own, or perhaps use designing bases like those in Factorio, well, Cosmoteer really does deliver quite here, but with an added layer of tactical real-time combat, because yes, your ships will get attacked. So the premise of the game, you design and simulate starships on a grid, then command your ship or fleet in epic top-down battles. The game offers a full single-player career mode, as well as creative and PvP modes as well. The whole principle then is you start with a basic ship framework, and you can build block by block on a 2D blueprint. What you have here, you have different key systems to place. These can be things like crew quarters, where your little crew members run around doing the ship operating things. You then have reactors and power, weapons, shields and armor, thrusters and flight, factories and ammo, and even the aesthetics as well, because of course you want not just your ship to look functional, you also want it to look very nice as well. The ship design here can be somewhat challenging and fun, and once the ship is built, it's time to take it out into combat missions or bounties and other such activities. It's also worth pointing out that later on you can build and command multiple different ships and have this as your fleet. In the single player mode, you'll be out there travelling through different systems, completing various different contracts, and ultimately you'll encounter different enemies, and these will get tougher, which in turn will challenge your own ship, forcing you to improve your overall design. The game itself has a really nice positive score over there on Steam. It's highly respected. It currently has a discount of 25%, pricing it at £11.99. Now this one is an open world sandbox. I guess you could class it as a survival game as well. And it's all about exploring a massive galaxy, all filled with different sectors, pirates, trading opportunities and combat. In a way, you can think of this a little bit like X4 or even Freelancer meeting up with Lego and kind of having a child, and that would be not too different to Avorion in many ways. Tag on some cooperative play as well as some solo play against the environment, and there's some options for PvP, and you kind of get the formula of what this game is all about. And the focus for that is, as a player, growing your ship from a tiny ship all the way up to a giant dreadnought, all the while freely customizing your vessel's shape and systems. Now it also features a unique progression system here, where the materials you build with, like iron and titanium and etc., kind of gate your advancement towards the galaxy's core. Construction in Avorion is block-based, but with a twist. Blocks can be arbitrarily scaled, so they're not a fixed sized voxel here. And you can probably imagine the opportunities and potential that actually opens up, the different avenues with which you can build. It means you can create smooth, large hull pieces or some tiny detailed sections. And of course you'll have to focus on all the different aspects and different elements of your ship. Gameplay is taking place in a procedurally generated galaxy that is essentially endless, although it kind of has an overall radius structure. More dangerous as you get towards the core though. Activities you can get involved in include exploration, mining and trade, fighting, as well as, building an empire, because why not? That's always a very fun activity. In terms of story, unlike pure sandbox games, Avorion does have an end goal, which is all built around reaching the centre of the galaxy. Moving on to a much more story-focused game, we come to a Telltale series game called The Expanse. And yes, this is based on the TV show and the novels as well. And you find yourself taking on the role of Kamina Drummer, who was, of course, a fan favourite character from the show. This story takes place during Drummer's early years as an XO on the salvage ship called the Artemis. The story is, of course, a prequel to the TV series, so you don't need to have seen the show or read the books, but if you are a fan of either, you'll recognise many of the characters here, as well as a lot of the references. As with other Telltale's games, you'll have a bunch of meaningful choices, dialogue, some cinematic sequences with which you can interact. It's very much a narrative experience and not at all a Twitch-based action game, and that is very much one of the big appeals of these type of games. The story takes place over 5 different episodes, all of which are included in the base game. It's currently listed at 65% off, making it available for a price of £7.34. Easily, in my view, the best space combat shooter out there is Everspace 2. The game is available on discount at the moment, but more to the point is the latest expansion, Wrath of the Ancients, is also available. Now, Everspace 2 is a looter shooter. It's a fast-paced action, a single-player game with some RPG elements put in there. Now, this is unlike the original game. This is not a roguelike. The original Everspace was a roguelike. This one isn't. Instead, we've got pretty much a open world here, although I guess not truly open world. It instead opens in sections. We can kind of think of this as somewhat like Diablo or Borderlands, but set in space. You fly various different ships, blast enemies, and scoop up tons of loot, which comes in the form of weapons, gear, and resources. All of this can be used to upgrade your ship, and then further allow you to explore the depths of space and encounter ever increasingly more powerful enemies. In the game, you take the role of Adam as you play through a campaign, which is pretty lengthy and quite interesting here, but more to the point are the spectacular environments. These are absolutely gorgeous, and that includes the depths of space itself, or whether you're flying over the surface of planets or through the interior of massive shipwrecks. Combat here is very much Twitch-based and action-orientated, and this is certainly what we could class as an arcade-style game. This is not a space sim in the sense of Elite Dangerous with a highly in-depth flight model. This is all about rapid-paced action, and that, in my view, is what makes it work so well. The Wrath of the Ancients expansion takes place after the main story campaign, so you've got a new story added on here that's kind of taking place after the main events. It also includes 4 new star systems, a load of new enemies and bosses, some new playable ships and gear, as well as a whole load of different puzzles and locations as well. The expansion is priced at $15.99 with a discount of 20%. Last up, we come to an interesting game, the one that's actually really caught me by surprise. This is a blast from the past. Many of you older gamers from the 90s will likely remember the Project X series of games which were available on the Amiga. and perhaps other 16-bit platforms as well. Well, we got a new game here called Project X Light Years. This is really a high-octane side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that serves really as an official sequel to the classic 1992 Amiga game. Yeah, and that really does bring some nostalgia there. Absolute real pleasure to actually see this. In principle, it's very similar to R-Type, Gradius and other games of that era, but even back then, Project X just had something that really made it feel unique. It had its own vibe. So yeah, the game is a 2D side-scrolling shooter. Your ship moves horizontally and vertically through levels, automatically scrolling to the right. Enemies of various types swarm in patterns, as you might expect from this type of game, and the levels cap off with a boss. Looks like the developers have gone all out here to really make this look like a game from the Amiga days, obviously with much better visuals, much improved FPS, and some really high quality music as well. But the aesthetics here are very clearly from the 16-bit era, and anyone who played from those days will be right at home with this. A lovely looking game then, currently discounted by 35%, making it available for £8.44. And just before I go, I want to mention two bonus games for this video. Those are X4 Foundations as well as No Man's Sky. X4 Foundations is an absolutely fantastic single-player sandbox. It's perhaps one of the best single-player space games out there. This one is a true sim. You can go out and trade, you can fight, you can explore, you can do a whole bunch of things and even build a massive empire. A lot of people know all about this game right now, so I'm not going to go into too much depth about it. Suffice to say that this is discounted by 75%, meaning it's available for £9.99. No Man's Sky, meanwhile, is, well, everyone knows what No Man's Sky is all about at this point, don't they? Currently priced at $19.99, so if you haven't picked it up just yet, now is an absolutely amazing time to do so, thanks to the latest update, Voyagers, which allows you to build your own ship, as well as walk around inside of those ships and even go for an EVA spacewalk. Great time for space games then, and the games in this list come highly recommended because, in my view, these are some of the best space games out there right now. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. Do take care, and I'll catch you next time.